As a dead-hard boot and fist merchant, the task of collecting the lost scrolls falls upon your broad shoulders. As surely as Way of the Exploding Fist was the martial arts game of 1985, Fist 2 was destined to be yet another definitive kung fu classic. The logical step forward introduced a quest into the proceedings, as well as hanging on to the highly successful karate fighting format, introducing lots of never-before-seen baddies in the process. Fist 2, The Legend Continues, is set centuries on from the Tournaments of the Masters, which set the scene for its predecessor. All that existed of those times has been swept away, and the only evidence of its existence are the scrolls, which contain the accumulative fighting knowledge of the ancient masters, and our ancient oriental chum finds himself taking on the might of the evil warlord and his henchmen. The Way of the Exploding Fist was more or less a straightforward punch-up game, points for pleasure. This time, you have a mission. You must search out and destroy an evil warlord who lurks in a volcano fortress. But before you do this, you must find a number of mystical scrolls, of which there are 8 in total. Each will give you extra power with which to face the deadly enemies. The gameplay ranges against a variety of backdrops: swamps, mountains, underground caves, forests and temples. Along the way, you will face various enemies and must punch and kick them into oblivion. Peasant soldiers, warrior guards, ninjas, shoguns, assassins and mud warriors, plus dogs. In all, there are probably more than 100 screens to explore, and within a few minutes you'll realise a map will be an essential playing tool. Once again, this is a game I remember fondly playing alongside my brother. Although this was fundamentally a one-player game, we'd spend hours at a time, apparently aimlessly walking about. Several times we'd have to reapproach the game, every time loading back up from the beginning, retracing our steps. Many times we'd find ourselves being poisoned in the green caverns, flickering with black death, always wondering and pondering how to get through this part. Each time we returned to the game, we unfolded a little more. A few more screens were discovered. How did we miss that ladder first time round? Why didn't I kick that wall down before? It's that sort of game. Unless you stick at it, you'll miss a lot of opportunities. You see, the scrolls that you must find contain knowledge in the form of trigrams. The secret is to match that trigram with the appropriate temple and thus learn its secrets. One being how to progress through the poison room. Now we're getting somewhere. Some scrolls are associated with strength, and some are connected with imparting a sense of well-being when surrounded by malignants. These are the joys of playing the game from the beginning as a young disciple, so to speak. As well as there being a storyline, the game differs radically from Way of the Exploding Fist in several other respects. Instead of the action taking place on individual screens which are replaced when a fight is won, Fist 2 has a scrolling screen. Movement is only from side to side, but there are pits to fall into and ladders to climb. The only annoying part of the game is as you move around, waiting for the next screen to catch you up. You move off one edge of the screen and then action is suspended as the next one scrolls past you. Your chi, or energy, is represented by a scroll, which gets shorter as you become weaker. When you encounter a bad guy, his chi scrolls appear opposite yours, so you get a good idea of what you're up against. The instructions give a few guidelines as to the relative strengths of the different warriors, but my advice is to ignore it, as it's completely misleading. I always found that the peasant soldier, an able but not exceptional fighter, sometimes kicked my ass, whereas the bestial, ferocious warrior guard was a pushover. Which brings us to fighting talk. You might find the combat pretty tough going to begin with, and every situation will be different. The blurb gives the usual map of which joystick motion results in a particular move, but that is only vaguely helpful. The reason is that up against certain opponents, your repertoire is severely curtailed. You will find yourself unable to somersault or do high kicks. It also seems that the same action in different circumstances gives different results. My advice to novices is to learn a few moves and stick with them in the early stages. Also, try a few practice moves before opponents get in close. The second thing to consider is that different opponents have different strengths and weaknesses. The soldier was virtually impervious to my favourite move, the jump kick, but susceptible to below the belt attacks. So, play dirty if you have to. The bloke with the hanky round his face was a doddle to defeat. You will eventually defeat an opponent when his chi dries up and his scroll disappears off the screen. The more likely outcome is that it will happen to you, in which case you are returned to the beginning of the game, which sucks. A way to avoid this is to run away and wait for your health to replenish, but when you return to the enemy, he will fully regain his whole health bar. Oh yeah, you can also get your pyjamas wet by fighting in a lake. Huzzah! You can pretty much cheese this game by learning that enemies can't block the rear kick move you can do when facing away from your opponent. Once mastered, you can spam enemies with it and dispatch them easily, but where's the fun in that? The idea of a quest rather than just straight combat works very well indeed, as there is the added impetus to have just one more go and find out what is behind the next corner. Be warned though, your task will not be an easy one, and you will have to do pretty well before the warlord even takes notice of you. Logically, there was no way Melbourne House could have made Way of the Exploding Fist 2 in the same way as, say, International Karate did with Arcade Plus. Fist 2 is different, a slower, more thoughtful game with a lot more than meets the eye. I love this game and felt it was pretty revolutionary in its time, and it still delivers the action when I play it now. Actually, when I think about it, it's probably a similar idea as to what the programmers of Barbarian 2 did, to take the original fighting theme from the original game and inject it with an element of exploration. Barbarian 2 was pretty awesome too, by the way. Overall, Fist 2 is a good game. I remember it very fondly and it brings back massive nostalgia. The haunting music from Neil Brennan is amazing, and I love the effective way it changes with each new scenario. The energy system was cool too, even if a little idiosyncratic in play. One thing Fist 2 couldn't do, however, was create the impact of the original. But I'm bloody glad there was no scream on the title screen this time. Gah! There it is again. That'll haunt me for life. So go on, sink some hours into Fist 2 and let me know what you think of it. Hit the like button and let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll put a link to the original Way of the Exploding Fist at the end titles. Once again, I massively appreciate your support for driving me on to continue with these absolutely legendary Commodore 64 games, and there's still a long way to go. So please don't forget to subscribe and follow me on this epic journey. If you want to help the channel even further, then there is a Patreon account that I've set up which can be accessible on the links in the description. And remember, there is absolutely no obligation, but every little bit helps towards ensuring that the channel will grow and motivates me to continue with these longer videos. Anyway, that was Fist 2, The Legend Continues, and you're all legends for continuing with me too. Until the next one, bye for now.